Feeling a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is RiftNation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Sensitive/offensive content disclaimer. Please note that this podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Oh my goodness, guys. Hello. How are you today? I know you guys didn't see me on Tuesday, but that's okay. So welcome to listen now and to listen later. Welcome to RiftNation here on the RNN. Love the RNN. It's an awesome place to be. And don't forget, next Wednesday to check out our Halloween specials. So, and of course, with Halloween coming up, I'm pretty sure all the hosts are really going to get into some silly and goofy or maybe scary stuff happening this Halloween. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Hello. Marcy, of course, my co-host, is running late today. But yeah, check it out. So next Wednesday, don't forget, check it out. It's going to be so much fun. And we'll see what we got coming up for the other hosts. And I haven't decided what goofy thing I'm doing yet as far as an outfit or not. But I got to do something because it's Halloween. Let's have some fun. Hello, Michelle, and hello, Gail. So what I wanted to talk about tonight was inner spiritual guidance. And people look at it and they're like, "Ha? Okay, well, let's talk about this for a bit." Inner spiritual guidance is extremely important, guys. It really is. Now, as the world actually becomes more rapidly connected through technology, also becomes easier to become disconnected from ourselves. Now, the necessary quiet time that develops our natural inborn connection with intuition and spiritual guidance is actually no longer easily found in our day to day lives at all. So it what it does is, and this can cause feelings of being overwhelmed, meaningless, or an inner sense of disharmony and all around emptiness of what's going on. Hello, Z Sun Dragon. So, in today's world, as we face unexpected challenges, both individually and collectively, there is also a high level of daily stress that is constantly affecting our bodies, our minds, and our emotions. Now, our daily lives are actually filled with intensity as we witness widespread social, political, climate change, unnecessary, and again, uncertainty about our future. And of course, what do we have? We have fear. Hello, Mr. Keith. So, if these weren't enough, there is also the effect of greater spiritual light expanding on the earth, which is helping us to awaken spiritually, which is why inner guidance is extremely important. But it's also creating a major cleansing process for us on all levels: spiritually, emotionally, physically. Now, the pain of the past that we may have buried from our consciousness begins to surface into our awareness. And what it does is it brings old feelings and symptoms back into the light. Now, we are all developing ways to cope with the increased levels of stress in our lives today. There are many spiritual tools and transformational supports that can actually assist us to reclaim your inner connection with yourself, because it's extremely important, guys. Now, once you've created an intention to reconnect with your inner being, you will begin to draw to yourself the people, the situations, and the supports you need. Think about that. Now, one of the most useful, I have unplugged from all that and I tell a live vision and I'm going back to my roots, holistic and natural. Bingo, Gail. That's it right here. Let's show this. This is very true. And this is what we need. And unfortunately, every now and then, we can't always be plugged into this. It's something that we need to be disconnected from. We can't pretty much be by the hips, although, you know, sometimes people think we should be connected, kids. Anyways, so one of the most important, useful, and simple ways to actually navigate through these very intense times is to develop a deeper connection with your natural, intuitive spiritual guidance. Now, inner guidance is actually a gift from our soul to embody human self, which we all have access to. All of us do. Now, some of us are actually more in tune to this part of ourselves, especially those who are actually artists, magicians, athletes. Hello, Miss Lois Clark. athletes, work actually also in work that involves healing, any type of light or holistic healing. Now, some of us may have learned to turn off the inner gift because of childhood pressures and conforming to social standards, feeling like the outcast, the oddball. That would cause the inner light that's within all of us to actually shut down. It did. For some of us, it did. No matter how connected or disconnected you may feel from your inner spiritual guidance, everyone has the capacity to naturally develop and strengthen the important part of ourselves. Living with an active, awake inner spiritual guidance offers us the opportunity to perceive and experience a whole new creation and dimension of life. Now, the universe of spiritual reality is vast, it's huge. And when intuition is activated, new experiences begin to open and create a vaster and more meaningful possibilities, not properties, possibilities. It opening your intuition brings in that insight. It helps with manifestation. It helps bringing that positive aspects back to yourself, those things that we've missed. It's like, why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? Okay, or I'm not getting here, I'm not getting there. The negative, the news, oh my god, big negative in the news, I'll tell you. I watch the weather and that's it. So, in addition to expanding our daily experiences of life, developing intuition and spiritual guidance serves to create a depth of connection to inner truth. That's what we need to do, inner truth, which I think we should do a show on shadow work. I've been doing a lot of research on that as well. Now, if you've ever witnessed a simple and profound clarity of truth that comes from small children, little kids who have not yet learned to censor their inner guidance, you will have some idea of what is possible for yourself. Those children don't worry about who said what, who did what, who feels what. We go forward. Okay, now in today's world, there are many sources of information that may not be accurate or truthful. Now, your spiritual guidance and intuition can offer a clarity of direction in situations where it may not otherwise be possible to know what is real. As your intuition becomes more highly developed, you will be able to sense the presence or the lack of love, light, and warmth within other people. Aha! You will be able to you will be able to discern what feels true and what feels false beyond the words of what people are saying. Appearances that are presented. And these are the things what we want, we need in today's world. We need to, as Gail said, get back to our roots. In today's world, there is much at stake and many choices presented to each of us each day about who we listen to, where to place our attention, time, and trust. If we are disconnected from ourselves and the center of our own being, then it is actually easier for us to be swayed in directions that depart from love and truth that we may later regret. Now, developing our inner spiritual guidance offers a precious gift of disconcernment, allowing us to see clarity what is true and what is not, and to negative more easily great complexities and challenges that we face in the world today. Ooh, my whole life I've been able to spot the shade. Yep. And I think these are things we need to get back to. I know my phone is blinging, but I can't answer my phone right now. I apologize. I can't. So we're going to get right now, we're getting into another section of this. It's spiritual consciousness is what it is. Okay? So true. Enjoy listening. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to get into a little bit more deeper as we go into this. Now, all of life is welcoming you into a new reality, which is what the Rift did this not too long ago. We created a new reality for us now, which is actually unfolding and emerging right before your eyes. You may not see this new reality with your physical senses yet, but your body, your consciousness, your intuition, and your dreams are already actively involved in this new spiritual consciousness that is emerging. Now, for some, the whispers of spirit are subtle and create gentle openings in our hearts where our hearts flutter. Our hearts want to help more. Our hearts want to heal more. This happens. Now, again, for others as well, the call of spirit resounds more loudly and may emerge from the challenges of a crisis situation, which opens the awareness to new possibilities that would not otherwise be considered. When I do readings and we talk about chaos, chaos creates new birth. Remember, chaos, I tell you guys this, chaos creates new birth. Just like for those that read tarot cards, it's I think it's the tower where everything comes crumbling down, but when it gets rebuilt, it gets built stronger. Now, the voice of spirit actually speaks uniquely to each soul. Everybody hears this differently. It may be creative inspiration that emerges, or an opening of the heart that actually creates desire to share and to give more to others. It may come through a healing relationship, which actually transforms life totally and unexpectedly. Inner wisdom and intuition can flow, and flower, okay, in the most unusual circumstances, as spirit is always speaking to us through both our inner and our outer lives. Aha. Your thoughts determine your outcome. Bingo. That's exactly it. But first we have to get through that clutter. Sometimes in life, we have to experience the chaos. We have to experience the chaotic energy, the depression, the all of these things we have to experience in order for us to say, okay, I needed to go through this again. So this way I can rebuild. And when I'm rebuilding, I'm stronger. And you continually keep going. Now, the voice of spirit may act as a wake-up call to illuminate aspects of ourselves that are out of balance. And I'm sure a lot of us have been experiencing with what Joni was talking about, oh my God, Keith, help me out here. The bad time in astrology. I forget what it's called. Keith will know that. So what happens, it's like a shining beacon. This is what happens. The voice of spirit will act as a wake-up call to illuminate aspects of ourselves that were out of balance, like a shining beacon of light. Beacon in the dark. Can reveal and transform the hidden corners of ourselves that have carried large burdens for such a long time. The Pluto return. Yeah, we retrograde. We went through a retrograde or something. I don't know. Joni knows about that stuff, and so does Keith. I try. I just get, I need astrology for dummies. That might help. So let's get back to this. Okay, so this shining beacon of light can actually reveal and transform hidden corners of ourselves that have actually carried large burdens for a long time. Now, light can act as a catalyst to undo past mistakes and past choices, to create a renewed sense of healing and harmony. Timeline corrections. Yes, thank you. I don't know about this stuff. Now, you may have noticed changes in your consciousness. In our own consciousness, we've noticed changes. Okay? Now, your awareness and the ways that you look at life. Think about this for a minute. The way we looked at life a long time ago and the way we look at it now. Big difference. There is a difference. And we continue to grow mentally, physically, emotionally, but we need to be open to it. Now, there is actually a process of spiritual awakening that is happening on earth right now, which is still rather invisible to our outer eyes, but which many are beginning to feel in their hearts. Our priorities are the shifting, and the life is actually asking us to love more, to let go of old grudges, old pain, and to move forward in life with consideration and awareness of the earth and others in our lives. Allow this to actually come forward. No longer are we focused solely on ourselves and on our own gratification. It is clearly and clear that in order to move into the future on this planet, we need to develop a natural respect for life, for the earth, and for other souls that actually share this planet with us. For each of us, this involves changes in the way we live our lives and in the ways we relate to others. Now, one day, this new spiritual consciousness will no longer be invisible. And the world as we know it will be transformed. Spiritual consciousness will not be separate from physical life, but an integral part of life. Spiritual consciousness will be shared among all living beings and will be understood as the foundation upon which we build our lives on earth. This process has begun and now catapulting us forward into the one of the most significant times in human history. Our sole choice to be present in this time. Do you guys choose to be present? To participate in this awakening of spiritual consciousness? Your presence on this earth is purposeful and is an integral part of a larger process. How will you actually move forward in the coming days and weeks? Your gift of choice allows you to partner with spirit and the spiritual realms each day, to join with other like-minded, like-hearted souls, to co-create with the new earth that is arriving. We bless you and give great thanks for the work. This is really intense things that were going through my head to written down. Now we have another section actually coming up, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to raise your frequencies a bit here. So we still have some time for that. It's the time of age of Aquarius. I feel like a Virgo woman will be the leaders of this movement. It could be. So, and my question would be, and it would be a question for Joni and Keith, but if you're talking about Virgo, are we talking about, I know there's people born under certain signs, but there's another one that also dominates part of your personality as well. I think it's your ascending sign or something. I'm not really correct. All right. Now, let's get into some of this. Let's see. Okay, now, here is the thing. You can't have healing without interpersonal connection. The mothers of the earth. Yes. Mother Earth. Very important. And you have to have that personal connection in order to help others heal. Yeah, sign, rising sign. Thank you. Because I'm an Aries rising, but I'm a Gemini. So I don't know where I fall in all of this, but I just know I got to go with the flow. Now, everyone is in some type of recovery. There's really no other way to put it. And there's so many different types of recovery. Now, whether it's drugs, alcohol, food, spending, gambling, coupling, we'll say, TV, codependency. There are so many things that we are addicted to. We're in recovery from this. And it's difficult for us to actually admit this. Okay. Now for many, as this, it's all right. It's actually a common experience for individuals to work with people. When you're doing healings, you work with them for, say, sometimes it could be years or weeks. It really just depends on how the other individual is getting, how we do it. Now, all of us want that direct line to spiritual guidance. Let's just tell the truth here. Okay. We do. We need this to actually help and maintain and abstain and taking responsibility for ourselves, taking responsibility for our own actions. that actually cause reactions and things. You know, we want to know what is the highest good. We say this all the time. I say, cut all the cords except for what's my highest and best good. What is our highest and best good? What is the right decision in different situations? You know, what are your appropriate boundaries? And how do we manifest this? Okay, it's actually a birthright in each of us to have a direct line to higher power, believe it or not. Whether that is for you, yet a few of us have learned how to do this and will on a daily basis. Surprisingly, however, it's not hard to do. The spiritual realm exists at a higher frequency than we do here on the physical plane and on earth. In order to access the spiritual realm, we need to know how to raise our frequencies. That's what's missing. The one way to understand frequency is to imagine a room filled with people who are sharing love and joy with each other. This room has a feeling of lightness and a higher frequency. Whereabouts the room filled with anger, intense peoples will have a lower frequency level. It'll feel heavy and dark. Hey, Christine, is what it'll feel. So, how do you raise your frequency? There are actually numerous things you can do to help yourself raise your own frequency, but none of them will work unless you have the intent to learn with spirit about loving yourself and others. A lot of us will have issues with that part. How do I love myself? How do I love who I am? How do I do that? We're not perfect. The world is not full of all kinds of perfect people and all kinds of, it's not. The world is unique. And that makes us all unique. Our intention is the most powerful tool we have for raising our frequency. There are only two possible intentions in any given moment: to learn with spirit about loving yourself and others, or to protect against your pain and avoid responsibility for your feelings. Now, when our intention is to protect and avoid, we seek to control. Through our various addictions, our feelings, okay, other people's feelings and behaviors, and the outcome of things. When your intent is to learn to seek and take responsibility for your own feelings and behaviors by discovering what we may be thinking, doing that is unloving to ourselves and to others. And what would be loving? Now, you can try many methods for raising your frequency, from prayer to meditation to chanting. But if your intention is to protect instead of learning, none of these will do any good. None. Okay. The reason is that when the intention is to protect against pain, we close our hearts so not to feel whatever we are feeling. Spirit can't come through a closed heart. neither can love. We are giving, okay? We are each giving free will. When we come to this planet, this means that we get to choose our intentions to be opened or closed, loving, unloving, protected against pain, or taking responsibility for our feelings. While the love that is spirit is all powerful, it cannot come into a closed heart. It can't. Just as the air you breathe cannot come into your lungs until you take that breath. The power and the wisdom of spirit cannot enter your being until you choose the intent to learn about loving yourself, loving others, loving everything about yourself. When you have a true, pure intention to learn, your frequency automatically rises. None of these actions that we're going to talk about will raise your frequency without intention. However, once you have the intention, okay, to follow the actions can actually help your frequency rise. We have to love ourselves. Okay. Now, there are 10 or so things we can talk about right now that are going to help you raise your frequency level. But remember, you have to do this with an open heart, not a closed one. Your heart has to be open. We have to take responsibility for what we've done. It was my choice to do this, so that's why the outcome is like this. It was my choice to go there. So, yes, it was my choice. It is my choice to love. It is my choice to share. It is my choice to try to help you. This is my choice. Open your heart up. The more you open your heart, guys, the more you're going to feel loved. The more the right love is going to come. And it took me a long time to figure that out. Don't wait as long as I did. Now, let's get into number one right here. All right. Number one, move into your imagination. Believe it or not. And a lot of people say, oh my God, the kids so imagine. Yes, they could be. Imagination creates awesome scientists, artists, inventors, things like that. I love imagination. Now, your imagination is actually a gift from spirit. When you move into your imagination, you raise your frequency. You tap into the source of your creativity and inspiration. Our willingness to imagine is essential to begin to be able to connect with our personal spirit guides. When you first begin to utilize your imagination to increase your frequency and connect with spirit, you might feel as if you are just using your imagination to make things up. However, as you take the risk and trust what you think you are making up, you will discover that it is really coming through you from spirit. Think about that. Think about that, guys. There's a lot of material in this. A lot of material in this. And hopefully you guys are enjoying this so far. If you can't listen to the whole thing now, try to listen to it later. Okay, here's number two here. Keep your body clear. Very important. Now, your body is an energy system. If your body's energy is clogged, and again, we're going to talk about this, clogged with certain things, certain foods, or, and again, we've talked about addictions, and there's a lot of pesticides and things. You really need to try to create a pure body as much as possible. That is going to come a long way to actually assist us. Okay, you know, like, this is what happens is certain chemicals in your body actually lower your frequency level. And I'm not telling you to go out and buy a bunch of vitamins, because you want to make sure that they're natural. But yes, I myself, my opinion, I take a lot of vitamins. My man takes a lot of vitamins too. And we take the natural stuff, and it really does help. Number 3. Okay. They're telling you need to talk to your higher power. Some people call it praying. I just talk. I talk like I talk to you guys. Okay? Be grateful, show gratitude. Asking spirit for help in healing all blocks for a loving can actually raise your frequency. Ask them to help you. Please, I need help. I want to love myself totally. I want to love who I am. I want to open up to the possibility of love. I want to create this and expand this. Another thing that do, and some of you won't know what this is, it's chanting. Some will, some won't. Chants. Repetitive prayers is another way to actually put that. Mantras can actually help open you up to higher frequency as well. Now, you can say them talking, you can say them singing, chanting. These things will actually help you up. Here's another one that's kind of funny. Easier for younger people than it is for people like me, but I still do it anyways. Dancing. And again, receptive movements such as Native American drumming and dancing. They actually open themselves to higher frequencies. That's what they're doing. They're channeling spirit when they're in their drum circle dancing. It's an amazing sight to see. If you've never been to a powwow, I highly recommend that. I really do. Spend time in nature. Oh my God, this is extremely important. Especially for those of us that live in the city, you need to get out in nature. Okay? You really do. The frequency of the city is far lower than the frequency of nature. It really is. Now, being among trees and flowers near a river, creek, lake, ocean, okay, in the desert or on the mountain, all of these things you do can raise your frequency level. Now, for me, I have to go out in order to get that higher frequency, or what I like to tell them is a battery charge. Okay, and I need to get out into the woods to have that atmosphere, that energy, and it helps. What it does is it really does recharge my battery. It lifts me up. It allows me to help me raise my frequencies. Now, other things you can actually do for those that live in the city are plants. Okay, try to have plants around your house. Simple plants, like plants that spider plants, really hard to kill, for those that don't have that green thumb. You don't want the plastic. You want the real plants. You want the oxygen. You want that energy in with you. It kind of brings that little bit of nature coming in. That's actually going to help you out. Okay. Now, another thing we do, being near water is my go-to. Yes, I grew up on the ocean. And I know that energy, but every now and then I found myself, I need to walk through the woods, or I would go to Freetown State Forest, believe it or not, just walk around for the energy. Even though people say it's haunted, I needed to be next to the woods, and and I go for a ride down on a cushion somewhere, and I need to add energy of that woods. But when it's really low, yes, the ocean is my go-to. It really is. Here's another thing. Listen to classical or spiritual music. Yeah, when I'm cleaning, I listen to Godsmack and other things like that. Yes. But if you are on a lower level of frequency and you need to bring it up, try the spiritual music. Just sit there and enjoy the energy of the spiritual music. And you could do it. Classical music is another way. I mean, I used to skate to a lot of the Beethoven music, so there was a lot of classical music back in my active days. So yeah, that's awesome. Do that. Open yourself up. Listen to it. Frequencies, you can listen to those, but you need that that love, that love around you. Okay? Do creative, artistic activities. Yes. Moving into your creative imagination raises your frequency. It really does. And, I used to do a lot of jewelry making. Oh, which by the way, that's done. I forgot to tell you. But I used to do a lot of jewelry making. Now I'm starting to create other things. So it's like I keep creating and I keep doing this and I'll work with it. And I'll do the same thing with baking. It's my thing. I want to be creative. So I continue to do it and I'll create recipes. It's like, nom, 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 nom. Oh, that's good, but I think I can make something like that. So I'll sit there and do that. And some people do it with cooking as well. Take some clay and sit there and mold something out of clay. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't have to be a Picasso. It could just be anything. Allow your imagination to go. Allow that creative beauty in yourself to come out. Allow that to happen. Now, here's another thing. Incense. Something I do on a weekly basis is smudge. Okay? Smudging incense actually has been used for centuries, and a lot of people, I've been drawing and sketching a lot lately. That's your creative outlet. That's awesome. That's really good, Michelle. Now, use your incense to actually do something. Like smudging has been used to raise your frequency and your intuitive spiritual connection. Now, smudging is actually a smoke from various dried plants. I prefer white sage, but again, sage, pine, cedar, lavender helps clear the energy. And it also clears the energy of the room. And it does help raise your frequency, which is really awesome. Now, if you need calmness in your area, I would use sage and lavender. If you're looking for a little bit of protection, sage and pine is another good combination. These are things that we do. And again, indigenous people have been using them for centuries throughout the world. And trust me, it's still being used. Why is it still being used? It works. It really does. Here's another one. Lighting candles. Okay. I love candlelight. Candlelight, too, has been used for thousands of years to clear the air and also help raise frequencies, is what it has been. Now, this is a really awesome thing to do. You can use white for purity, black for protection. It's all kinds of candles you can actually light for purpose. You can get a sage candle and light that way. But candlelight is also very purifying. It's very relaxing. That's why somebody says, "Oh my God, you're stressed. Take a candle bath," which is lighting candles and sitting in a salt water bath. This is something that can actually help you out. It can help you a great deal. Now, let's see what we got here. Now, if you're getting into the habit of asking yourself throughout the day, what are my intentions? Am I trying to control something? Or is my deepest desire in the moment to learn about loving myself and others? You will begin to understand intentions. This will eventually lead to you hearing, feeling, and seeing your spiritual guides. Wow. Wow. There is so much more information on this. And I am going to get through as much as I can. So, but I will let you guys know how you can get a copy of this. This is an ebook. So, spiritual channeling is actually the process whereabouts an individual becomes a channel and the spirit speaks through them. That is what a spiritual channeler does. Now, I tell you guys, I'm not a psychic, I channel because they'll tell me what to tell you. And that's basically what it is. But we all have some form of this ability. Now, instead of connecting to like departed loved ones or entities sometimes actually come through spirit guides, many, and again, many channelers encounter the same entity or entities repeatedly. The entities are being channeled, often discussing particular subjects that are not normally spiritual, and they pass their knowledge and their wisdom on. Okay, this is all a part of spirit guides. There are different levels of spirit guides. Now, channeling is actually a skill that anyone can develop, just to let you know. All you need is the desire to actually grow spiritually and the determination to reach upwards. Channeling does not take years, special training, but what it does require is the ability to open your mind and claim free of thoughts, calm free of thoughts. And you need to have the ability to trust yourself. Now, if we're talking about, again, connecting with ourselves spiritually and opening up, why are we talking about channeling? Because in a way, when you are connecting to your higher power and raising your frequency and getting the answers, what are you doing? You're channeling. Some will be able to channel other people's spirit guides and information as well. And others will just channel the information from their guides, their higher selves. But that's what it is. It's developing it. You know, if you go back over the years, priestesses and priests of temples, psychic seers, shamans, they were channeling energy from the unconscious to natural spirits and their own spirit guides. Think about that. Now, all civilizations, cultures, they've had mystics, trance channeling. I hate doing that. Who provide a service with their ability. They tap into different dimensions and bring through knowledge, which is not obtainable to the masses. Shaman and priests and priestesses have actually kept this art form alive until this actually present day, just so you know. Channeling is actually for those who wish to enrich their development and their wisdom of their higher self. And again, we're not talking about solving all of the issues of what's happening within your life, all of your feelings. And we're not talking about, I need this information for that. Hey, give me the daily numbers. No, it's not working like that. It's about you, your emotions, your self-love, and allowing yourself to actually do that, giving yourself that, you know. And again, sometimes you will see things coming and you'll develop more and more as we going. Now, it's important to understand that channeling must not be confused with someone whose sole intentions are to connect with the dead and seek their assistance. No, this is, mediums and spiritualists, like mediums. They connect directly with the dead. Channeling has more to do with spirit guides. That's kind of like the slight difference there, just so you guys understand that. All right. So There's been quite a bit of information here, and I know Marcy was running late, and I do know that my phone was going off, but unfortunately, I couldn't reach over to send the link. Now, they may actually, what you're trying to do is you want to reach your higher self, the highest vibrational part of self. Now, the spirit guides or other light beings may feel beautiful, loving flow of energy that flows through your body. Okay. And you picture and you feel lighter. Have you ever gone like all of a sudden you feel like gloomy and then you go through something, okay, I understand that, I get that. And it feels like all of a sudden the sun is shining around you. That's their loving light energy coming through. This is them coming through you. Now, they send this loving light energy to help heal ourselves. So we allow that beautiful, loving light to actually come through. When we are speaking normally, we speak one way, but sometimes our accents or things we say change because we start channeling a different spirit. So you'll notice slight accent or different interpretations of things. These things actually happen. Now, okay. Channeling is one of the many gifts spirits has helped you to use as you spiritually grow. Okay. So, what we're going to get into right now, unfortunately, there's too much more to get into right here. Now, connecting with your spirit guides. This is what I want you guys to do. Now, when you are relaxed and comfortable and your mind is clear, start to telepathically call out to your guides or angels if that's what you prefer. And I know this sounds really strange, but sit there, quiet your mind. If you have to have background music to quiet your mind, do it. Do the trick I've taught you guys before. Focus on your breath. Focus on your breathing, how we breathe. Focus that one thought. And then once you get that one thought going, sooner or later, it quiets down, call out to your spirit guide. Remember to cleanse the area first so you make sure that you're pure. Call out to them. See what you hear. And again, in your mind's eye, what I want you to do is I want you to picture them coming towards you. It'll be like a beautiful, bright, white, loving light. Okay? The light beam begins to radiate from the spirit guide, actually opens your heart. So open your heart energy and allow this energy to pass through you. And that is oh my God, I've been talking for almost an hour. I'm so sorry, guys. Oops. So allow this to actually come through you. And again, that's why it's extremely important to open your heart. Go back to the beginning of the show. Work on that first. Or do what some people used to call cleaning out your closet. It's not physically cleaning out your closet. It's clearing yourself is what it is. Take responsibility for actions, even if they're negative or they're positive. Take responsibility for them. Open your heart. Allow yourself, okay, you know what? The world isn't full of perfect people. It happens. Things happen. This creates that energy for you guys to be able to open up to your spirits, to your guides. Allow this to happen. But unfortunately, I am out of time today. And this was definitely a really long one. So don't forget, guys, let's see, we have the Orion effect coming on, and check out everybody's shows coming up. I don't know who's doing what for Halloween, but you definitely want to check that out. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow to the Rift Nation Network. And there is something special coming pretty soon. Something else that I've been working on. Ed and I are the only two that know about it till I can get a few more things done on that. So we will have something else coming up. So, and it'll be awesome. And don't forget, dance, enjoy. Even if you could just dance in a chair, because you can't go any farther, because then somebody have to pick your butt up off the floor, do it anyways. Love who you are. Love it. Enjoy who you are. Love who you are. Be yourself and love it. I know I love you guys. Mwah! I love you all. And I want you to feel it. I want you to feel that love coming off. Feel it. Enjoy it. Take it. Thank you, hon. All right, guys, we're going to call this a night, and I will see you on Tuesday. And I don't know what the heck I'm wearing. I'm sure my man can help me come up with something. He's good like that. He's a sweetie. All right, let's see if we can close this show up. Peace.